Yeah. Long time. Been making videos in this space. I've got some other spaces, but this is the original. The original space. My first video was in the back of my van, and then my second video was up against the door. That's right there, and then the rest of them were here. Long time coming. Now, a couple things before I get started. A couple people asked me how come I didn't put this out earlier, because a lot of other previews are getting a lot of views. I appreciate that. I've made my preview videos the morning of all the other series, so y'all know I'm not fixing to change that. Okay, so I will never sacrifice the juju for views. You see what I'm saying? Also, if you'd like to get hyped up after this video, I'm going to leave a card at the end of the video. Nick and I put together a Panthers song yesterday. If you haven't seen it, might want to check it out. It's worth the 5 minutes. It was a labor of love, we'll put it that way. All right. My Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Final for the first time. Everything is as it should be. Bias is here. He's having a good time. We'll put it that way. He's good. Now, in terms of the hockey, look, we've heard it all. We know. I mean, we've had a long time to watch all of the previews and talk about our forecheck and their defense, and can Bob keep it up, and can Hill keep it up, and the penalty kill, and the power play, and the back check, and the coaching, and it's going to be somebody's cup for the first time. We can go on, and we've heard all of that. So I'm going to try to provide something a little bit different here. Now, yesterday I talked about energy. I'm not going to go off on that rant either, but if you're interested in that, that video's there as well. I've said in other videos, I said before the season started we were going to win the cup. Here we are, but I'm not dropping that mic yet, because no, I'm not stupid. Okay, so none of those are why I'm obviously picking the Panthers. Of course, I'm the Panther guy. I'm not going to stand here and tell you Vegas is going to win. Now, we'll say that specifically Panther fans, we're going to go through some trials and tribulations in this series that we haven't had. Okay? Now, I know we got down to Boston, but we expected to get down to Boston, right? I mean, hell, we split in Boston. We're like, damn, we won a game, okay? So, the mentality, the attitude, the expectation at that point, like I've said, when Marchand came down the ice with 5 seconds left in Game 5, we're like, oh well, that was nice. At least we won a game. Bob made the save, and the next thing you know is where we are now. So, we are going to go through some trials and tribulations. I would be lying. I would be making it up. I would be making it up if I said I felt good about Game 1. That's just the honest truth. Now, I'm going to say something here I've said before in the other videos, but it bears repeating. Game 1 doesn't mean a damn thing until Game 2. Game 1 doesn't mean anything until after Game 2. You win Game 1. If you lose Game 2, whoever's on the road earn the split. That's the goal. If you lose Game 1, you got to come back and win Game 2, or else somebody's in an 0-2 hole, and that's when it starts to get dicey. Now, for purposes of how I feel, how I think it's going to go, I think we're going to end up somehow at 2-2, and then the Panthers will win Game 5 and Game 6. That's what I said. I said, and for clarity's sake, I said Panthers in 7 with Verhaeghe in triple overtime. I missed on the triple part. I said Panthers in 6 over the Leafs. Did it in 5. And then I don't even remember what I said about the Canes. I'm pretty sure I said 7. Pretty sure I would have said 7, maybe 6. Whatever I said, I didn't get that right either. Because, I mean, I got the team right. But by default, I'm picking the Panthers, right? So, there's no magic juju there. I just have a feeling we're going to end up at 2-2. And, you know, I saw this Marble video, the Marbles doing the predictions and saying Vegas wins 1, Panthers win 2, Vegas wins 3, and then Panthers win 4, 5, 6. That feels really possible to me. And why I say that feels possible to me is because my feeling is like we're going to have trials and tribulations in this series that we haven't had in these playoffs. And that getting down in the series 1-0 and 2-1 again kind of jibes with that. So the point there is that it's a journey. It's all the whole thing is a journey. You could talk big picture, small picture, just the series itself. The whole thing from all the way back, Panther fans, from when we sucked and there was 5,000 people in the arena, but we were getting the number 1, the number 2, the number 3 picks in the drafts, and we started taking these guys, Barkov and Huberdeau and Ekblad, and some other guys that didn't quite work out, but led to assets. Okay, there's some names along the way that led to assets now this team has now that have made a difference. Trocheck was a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Developed him, turned him into Eetu Luostarinen. Love it. Okay, we know what we turned Huberdeau into and Uyghur. So some of that draft capital we spent back then, even if the players aren't here, the money we spent, the capital we spent on those picks is here now and is a big part of the reason why we're here. So this has not just been this run. This has been all of those years and then over and over and over again trying to find the right pieces to go. Which part of the core is kept, right? Remember, Vegas fans, when we gave you Marchessault and Smith, it was because Dale Talon felt like Nick Bukestad and Alex Petrovic were going to be core players for years to come, and we're going to need big contracts at some point. So it's not all been sunshine and rainbows. You're welcome, okay? You're welcome. So this is the journey, and whatever happens at the end of this series decides whether or not that journey stops and a new one starts, or we're still on that journey. Okay? Been a long time from all of those picks to the summer of analytics to Gallant to Bugner to what we went through with Q last year to what we went through with Bruno at the end and the sweep, and should we keep him, should we not, and then we just barely get our head wrapped around that, and what? Huberdeau and Uyghur, Kachuk, what? And we just Maurice and our heads were spinning by the beginning of this season. And I stood here, and now I'm going to get into what I said in the preseason. And I said, we're going to win the cup, but we're going to start slow. Now, I got the slow start part right. I didn't quite get the middle of the season so accurate, but what I said in that video was that the arc was just going to continue to go up, and then we were going to win the cup. And so we're here. And so let's just hope I was right. Let's hope this is the final chapter in the journey of from we started all the way back when we sucked. It was bad. And we thought, I mean, every 2 minutes, you know, for some of you who weren't happy with my take about the hockey guy, we've only been the butt of attendance jokes for decades around here. So at some point, somebody was going to snap. Okay? So let's not be disingenuous. Like, my reaction to that video of the hockey guy was only about what he said in that video. That was enough is enough. And I think we've all had those moments in life where it might look from the outside like, why are we reacting to this one thing? And the reality is that person is having a meltdown because it's been 20 years. It's been decades. Okay, and certainly since I think the first joke on social media was about our Panthers attendance. You see what I'm saying? So it's been some time, and us Panther fans have been through a lot despite what some of the other fans might think. So, Panthers in 6. That's what I feel. That's what I think. That's what I think the product on the ice tells me. And the thing that I feel that take out all of the other things, I feel like we're going to get ourselves into a hole, maybe 1-0, maybe 2-1. And I think the X factor is going to be Paul Maurice. And that doesn't mean I think Cassidy's a bad coach. But if you look at this story that the Panthers have done this entire season, if you try to look at it as a whole and imagine the ending with us winning the cup, and you try to guess what would be the clincher. We've already had Bob have his rebirth. We've had Kachuk silence the critics about him not being a playoff performer. Maurice has kind of gone under the radar. He's kind of, he even says in his press conferences, hey, look, it's the players. They're running the bench. They're running the bench. If we get down in this series, and I have a feeling we will be down in this series, I think it's going to be something that Maurice does or says or some effect from Maurice at the end of this that just like so far we can point to Game 5 against Boston with Bob's save, and we can point to the Carolina series with Kachuk where overtime. You see what I'm saying? I think at the end of this series, at the end of this, when we're hoisting that trophy and they're skating around with it, and I'm shaving this ridiculous beard as they're skating around with it, live by the way, I think we're going to look back and say Maurice pushed some kind of button. Maurice did something when we were down in this series, and that's what got us over the hump. That's it. That's all I got to say. Now I'm going to do what I've done the other games, which is I'm going to go dark. I'm not going to quite go into the Aaron Rodgers room of darkness, but I'm going to mow some grass. I'm going to water some plants because it hasn't rained in like 3 weeks, and we have no rain. The whole month of June, we have no rain in the forecast. So I got some things to do. And I'm going, if you message me and I haven't gotten to you, I'm not going to get to it today. My apologies. Okay? I'm going dark. I don't exist until I create the stream and we get ready to go. The live stream is going to start. Let's do an hour before game time tonight, shall we? Let's go ahead and do that. I'll do that from game 1, and then we'll play the rest of the games by ear. But yeah, 7 o'clock tonight. When you see the notification for the stream come out, if I've changed that. But for now, right now, with the niacin flowing through my blood, which is why I look like Biny the Darnosaur. Biny the Darnosaur. I need to go dark. Seriously, I just need to shut up. Okay, so that concludes the first ever Florida Panthers Stanley Cup Final Series preview. Let's keep it cool. Let's keep it calm. Let's keep it collected. The same thing we've done these other series. We've been spoiled these last 2. We haven't been down. We've been up 3-0 twice. Prepare yourself, Panther fans. Don't panic, especially if we don't win this game tonight. Do not panic. Anytime we get down in this series, just remember Boston. Just remember Boston. Okay? Because Vegas is going to win a game. They might win 2. If it goes 7, they're going to win 3. But they got to eliminate us. They have to take this team that we've seen on the ice and eliminate us. And that's what I don't think Vegas can do. They can beat us in spaces. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think they can finish us off. That's just my feeling. All right. I'll see you tonight.